legions based in Ingus. I deliver orders from Karel. I'm bringing this message, and with it, the weapon for you to refine to all legions remaining in Ingus. Embedded within Vulgus legions, the weapon of the ancestors has become part of their power. Strike terror into hearts, descendants. These are their force. But the history repeats itself, just like the endless repeating pulsations of the Iron Heart.
Just get... Damn it. What are they planning now? Since we decrypted Eamon's message, we've been flooded with new information on the Vulgus. After we applied the new Vulgus encryption system to our surveillance assets, it's been non-stop. We now have crucial intel on the size of their forces, objectives, navigation routes, weapons, with more coming in. The most important part is that the Vulgus are armed with a weapon developed using Ancestors' technology. The weapon that you and Haley dealt with. The Vulgus are deploying forces to strategic points carrying this new weapon. The quarantine zone was only the beginning. Fortunately, now that we've cracked the new Vulgus encryption system, we can use the modified Infiltration Operations Terminal to predict the targets of their attacks. Our problem is time and manpower. In order to respond to simultaneous attacks, we cannot deploy multiple Descendants at the same time to protect one zone. In a worst-case scenario, a single Descendant might have to manage the protection of multiple zones simultaneously. Our enemy must be aware of that as well. This invasion appears to be a long-term operation. But, Descendant, if we use the enemy's own strength against them, we might be able to turn the tide of this battle, even with our limited resources. It seems that the Ancestors' weapon uses inverted Ironheart particles as its power source. If those particles can be recovered, they can be used to enhance the Descendants' inversion reinforcement device. This means that the more fights you win against the enemy, the stronger you will become. Although, this power is dangerous. I will keep an eye on you to make sure that you do not exceed your limits. So, Descendant, I'm counting on you to defend against enemy invasions.
Descendant, there is something I wish to discuss with you. Did you feel there was something strange about Eamon's message? We were unable to restore it to its original state. But even with the sections that were recovered, it felt like he was deliberately disclosing information that should have been confidential. If I were Eamon, I would not have told his troops about the Ancestors. It is common sense to keep military secrets classified, especially as Vulgus soldiers will be aware of the abilities of the Descendants. I believe Eamon's message is hiding something in plain sight. Descendant, we need you to defeat as many of the Vulgus commanders in strategic locations as possible. Do you think you can do this? Those Vulgus commanders are on the move. They will have already received Eamon's message. If we can retrieve their files, we may be able to fully restore the message. It will not be easy, but do not worry. I will provide analysis of the Ancestors' weapons. We can do this, Descendant.
Alpha, now that the Descendant core is here, I'll begin my debrief. Key points to cover include defense against the Vulgus invasion and the search for Corell's missing fleet. First, our defense operation against the invasion is going well, but as we continue attrition warfare, supplies and ammunition are becoming increasingly scarce. It's got to the point where I'm not sure if the enemy is targeting strategic positions or our ammunition stockpiles. The Desleo Armory is working hard, but our ammo production isn't keeping up with consumption.
If that really is their objective, it's a successful one so far. And what about our side? Do we know where that forces originated from?
We've mobilized all of our reconnaissance assets here at the Kingston radar station, but we can't find anything out of the ordinary. Alpha, now might be a good time to reevaluate the plan I submitted. We've already identified an important clue from Eamon's message. This grand invasion is headed to the origin of all wars. The only place in Ingress that qualifies is Sigma Sector, the land of annihilation. It's where the Vulgus and the Colossi first appeared over 100 years ago.
Now, you need to drop this. Sigma Sector is where the void erosion is at its worst. The void storms there turn all matter amorphous in seconds. The Vulgus are no exception to this. Of course, it's possible that the Vulgus used the Ironheart to assist them, but if they had, the energy would have been detected by our radar. You're just trying to make your theory fit your requirements. Unless Corell wants to die, there's no reason for him to have gone to Sigma Sector.
Enzo, why don't you trust me?
It's not about trust, Nell. It's about common sense.
But if the answer we're looking for is beyond the boundaries of common sense, the problem will never be solved. We have investigated almost everywhere in Ingress, and no trace of Corell's fleet has been found. But the enemy invasion shows no signs of weakening, and now they're even using Ancestors' technology. We can't rely on a common sense approach any longer. We have to think outside the box. Nell, I'm officially adopting your plan. You'll have authority over troop deployment and operational details from now.
Alpha, are you serious? More importantly, Nell, are you really planning to send troops into Sigma Sector?
See? It really is about trust. No matter how unorthodox my plan seems, I am not going to blindly order troops to their deaths. As for dispatching the Recon Corps, that will come once we've observed the energy signatures of Sigma Sector from the outside.
But we don't have that kind of reconnaissance asset. We can't even observe them with the wideband deceive here at the Kingston radar station.
Well, naturally, our tools will need to be outside the box as well. This operation will utilize the Eye of Truth, the Vulgus observation device in the White Knight Gulch. I'll pass along the details from Albion. You need to go and ready your gear.
What? My gear?
You heard Alpha. I'm in charge of troop deployments and operational details. I'd like you to take over field command in the White Knight Gulch. And for the record, this request isn't personal.
Enzo is perfect for this kind of mission. Good call, Nell.
I understand. I'll get moving.
I have seen everything. The salvation of two worlds. Descendant, you have destroyed the Ironheart and preserved the balance of the dimensions. But the war is not yet over. Corel has vanished with the remaining Ironhearts, and we do not know where he might have gone. Humanity has pursued this to the bitter end. And finally uncovered a brutal truth.
Descendant, this mission will require all the strength you have. Go with Enzo and head to the White Knight Gulch.
It really isn't anything personal, right?
It isn't personal.
As we can't track Jeremy visually, I've installed a sensor. The moment he sets foot near us, it will activate. Looks like the enemy is also tracking Jeremy, so we'd better capture him first. You need to defend the sensor, Descendant. Jeremy's attacks on the enemy, we're now caught in the crossfire. The sensor must be protected at all costs. eliminate that Vulgus. Might be strong, but you have to keep it at bay. I'll keep the sensor operational until we find Jeremy.
by Vulgus have consolidated their forces. That's not good. I've located the enemy rally. It's near the chapel. Descendant, number 17 here. I'll be assisting you on this operation. Good luck. Enemy structure operation. Initiating full-scale blocking operation. Enemy identified. Designating as top priority target. Please eliminate. Multiple Vulgus forces detected. Recommend elimination of all their defensive forces. Eliminate this target and stand by for next transmission. They're reinforcing their defense. We need to eliminate them immediately. High-level Vulgus closing in. Target this unit first.
You're here! I memorized the sound of your footsteps. It's time to bust some Vulgus heads and smash some Kuiper. If you destroy the Kuiper that's been mined by the Vulgus, it puts out a unique sound wave. When you use that, you find enemy comms equipment that's made of the same material. After that, I'll listen in on those comms. All you need to do is wipe out the Vulgus and sweep up their Kuiper. Easy, right?
This place is still swarming with Eamon's underlings. They're machines, so collecting any data will be helpful for the operation. We don't want to destroy the outpost I worked on. Come to the supply box and enter the fight. Focus! These bastards keep coming.
Core members are leading us inside. And the organic matter raw material boxes also continue down this way. Valby, infiltrate first, then recon inside.
Looks like there are ambushes lurking everywhere. Best to be cautious.
The way this facility has been arranged is pretty impressive. There's no way we would have known beforehand that it was underground. That object is being used to combine Vulgus DNA and organic matter. Destroy it, so they can never use it again. The existence of this device means there must be a hatchery. Valby, how are things on your end?
Dr. Han, I found a control panel deep inside the facility. It really is a horrible place. You'll see when you get here.
All right. Head to the place Valby mentioned and see what you can find. I need to stay here and confirm there's nothing significant to report. Let's look for the control panel, quickly. Even if it's a biocomputer, it'll be in the same vein as any Vulgus terminal. You can get information through your receive. Keep searching for traces of transported human DNA and large amounts of organic matter.
Be careful! An alarm must have gone off somewhere!
Bastards are trying to stop us. They must be moving in the right direction. It feels like we're getting closer to the answer. Please keep at it just a little longer.
Zachary of the 22nd Recon Squad. Zachary, we've identified an Allied signal. Please respond.
Zachary, this is the Descendant chamber. We received your intel.
Allied signal, please respond. Communications are unstable.
Looks like the jamming signal is still active. Take care of the Vulgus. I need to secure high ground to service the communications grid.
Comms grid. This is Zachary. Sending our location now. Please confirm if you're able to breach the siege and join us here.
Coordinates confirmed. We're not far away. Need to clear a path. path first. This is Jaber to the 22nd Recon Squad. Securing nearby area and joining you. Over.
Shields are offline.
There are enemies blocking our path. We need to get through them to pass. Zachary, the enemy has cordoned off the nearby area, so proceed with caution. Over.
We're good. You're here. I've just received the operation details from Nell. This operation is definitely unconventional. I couldn't believe it myself that we'll be utilizing Vulgus biostructures. But once I read the report on the Eye of Truth from the Medical Corps, I understood. Not only can you see all of Ingress with the eye, apparently it's also capable of visual observation across dimensions and into the void. In other words, it could theoretically see through the void storms in Sigma Sector and analyze a variety of energy signatures. To think that the Vulgus were observing Ingress and humanity with a device like this, it's pretty ominous. But if we can use it to our advantage, that's a different story. The problem is, the White Knight Gulch has fallen back into Vulgus hands, and we also disabled the Eye of Truth in a previous operation. So, the first objective of the operation is for myself and the Descendant Corps to temporarily occupy the White Knight Gulch and restore the Eye of Truth. We're short on time, so if you have any questions, let's talk about them on the way to the operation area. Oh, and by the way, Nell asked 2 more Descendants to join us, Eugen and Bunny. Eugen is essential to the restoration of the Eye of Truth, but I'm not sure why she chose Bunny. Anyway, while I'm getting ready to head out, please check in on Eugen and Bunny.
Nell, I'll pay for the suit. Can't we keep this a secret from the military police? I don't want to do disciplinary training again.
It's not about the cost, Bunny. It's about the unauthorized use of ultimate equipment in development, which is a serious military offense. All right. If this mission is successful, I'll let you off the hook.
I'll do it. I'll do anything. Just tell me. You're here. You're here. Nell's briefed me on the mission. Operation Secure the Vulgus Eyeball. But I heard that Valby and Eugen destroyed the Eye of Truth. Can it be fixed? Whatever. I'll leave the hard stuff to you. All I'm supposed to do is run around, kill enemies, and collect data on how my ultimate equipment performs in the field. Anyway, how do I look? Isn't my ultimate suit killer? I stole this while it was in development by the Magisters, and what do you know? It's perfect for me. They should have given me this sooner. Then I wouldn't have had to steal it. I'm not the bad one. It's the world that forced me to steal this that's bad. Was that too much? Anyway, I'm ready to leave any time, so hurry up and go get Dr. Han. We have to go before I lose electricity.
Captain! You're not Captain anymore. Miss Elias, it's my mission.
Jin, stop and listen to me. You don't have to go to the White Knight Gulch.
Why do you keep keep saying that? You're just in time. Please, can you tell my dear mentor to quit it? She thinks she's still the captain of the medical corps. She's making a huge fuss and trying to take my place on the mission, even though I know the White Knight Gulch the best. Can you match everything in the bundle of optic nerves in the Eye of Truth? I can do it with my eyes closed.
Okay. Well, can you forget the memory of what happened to your teammates when you close your eyes? I heard you still wake up screaming in pain in the middle of the night. Valby told me all about it. You might deny it, but trauma takes time to process and recover from. I know what happened there. Please, don't push yourself, Jin. And, to be quite honest, I'm more familiar with the White Knight Gulch than you are. I spent a lot of time there looking for Daya.
Captain.
I'm not your captain anymore. I'm asking you, as someone who cares about you, let me take your place.
Damn it. All right. Actually, I wasn't confident that I could do it either.
Yeah, you don't have anything to prove. I'm sure Daya felt the same way. So, you can give me information about the Eye of Truth through Maya Sieve. I'm a little nervous about going on a medical corps mission after such a long break.
I'm sure your years of experience will see you right, but please be careful. And thank you for your concern.
I like it when you listen to me. See you later.
Ah! Why is everyone taking so long? Are we ever going to start this mission where we fix what we broke? You know what? I'll go first.
Bunny, wait! Oh, seriously. All personnel involved in the Eye of Truth recapture operation, please report to your assigned locations. Over. I was in such a hurry to leave, I forgot some modules, Bunny.
Seriously? How is that my fault? You wasted most of your time arguing with Nell. Oh, Enzo! I understand now. You're on Nell's bad side, right? Did Operation Ring fail?
Of course it didn't, and no private chat during official operations, Bunny.
But you two look so good together. It's not every day you meet someone like that, Enzo. I'm rooting for you.
Oh, Glenn, not you two. Please drop it and let's focus on the operation. You probably know why we've been deployed here. To restore the Eye of Truth, connect to the bioscanner, and carry out observation of Sigma Sector. But first, we need to drive out the Vulgus who have reoccupied the White Knight Gulch. Then we can take out the control facility connected to the Eye of Truth. Bunny and the rest of the team, please clear the Order of Truth forces in the area. Glay, your objective is to begin restoration of the Eye of Truth. I'm going to build a field station here that will serve as a relay between the bioscanner and the Kingston radar station.
Leave it to me. Fixing things is my specialty.
Great! Let's get going!
To restore the Eye of Truth, first we'll need to find organic matter to feed the Vulgus biostructure. We can find some in the Fortress control facility and from samples of the Vulgus. I need plenty of it, so I'll need your help.
I'm going to scout the perimeter of the Order of Truth Fortress to see how many of them there are. And I'll get to test my ultimate suit's performance while I'm at it.
Yeah, you're the right age to be running around. Let me know if you have any trouble, Bunny. I can help you.
You'll know when you see it. Quickly!
Descendant. There are ancestor drones which give off inversion energy and a container with unidentified RK stored in this location. The enemy aims to artificially combine these two forces to cause an inversion overload experience. They have also blocked off the entry path with orders malignant tumors. First, remove the tumor from the container to reveal the RK stored inside. And finally, ancestors, they will identify the RK's properties. Just before the explosion happens, find the drone which matches the RK's properties and use it as cover. That drone seems to have similar technology to your inversion reinforcement device. If you have found the drone which has the correct RK properties, I can adjust the output to cancel out the blast energy. The drone has been destroyed and the inversion energy emitter has been exposed. With this much output, you can remove the malignant tumor that is blocking the door.
Get up!
Have my thing.
Get ready.
Descendant, the commander of the Order of Truth has malignant tumors throughout their body. We need the inversion energy emitter installed on the other.
Thank you for saving me.
Be careful. Shields are down. Need to be recharged. This is not the time to relax. I can't go down here. Trust only your teammates.
I shall refuse. Death to the blacksmith.
Recharge!
Reload.
Let's go!